Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the conversation series. I have a very special guest with me today, a gift box extraordinaire, almost as we like to say. She is fabulous, and Katelyn is here, and I'm going to let her introduce herself and who she is.
Hi guys, I'm Katelyn Sohn. I am your gift muse. Like Danielle was saying earlier, your gift box or your gifting goddess extraordinaire.
Love
I've come to you
that.
for all your gifting inspiration. It's me. So just to share a little bit about myself, I graduated from NC State in 2015 with a degree in biology. I got a biology degree and a concentration in human biology and a minor in biomanufacturing. So I'm doing a completely line of work than what I did for college, which is okay. It happens to so many people.
Yep.
It's like very normal, very natural. So if you're in the boat with me, we've got a lot of good company here. So I began my journey career-wise in pharmaceuticals. I actually worked for a company that made flu vaccines for about a year. And then I went into cancer research, kind of found that I was looking to kind of expand my career a little bit. I really wanted to like be in charge of people and lead with people and be more involved with people because a lot of the lab stuff is kind of like heads down on a bench doing data, getting numbers, kind of not my thing. I'm a very like bubbly people person, so I decided to kind of I was looking for options about what I wanted to do with my career, and I was really thinking about it, and I was like, I want to manage people. What am I going to have to do that in this industry? It was pretty much like get a master's or get a PhD. And I was like, okay, great, cool. What do I want to get my master's or PhD in? And then I was like, nothing. Okay, great. All right. So maybe I'm in the wrong career field. All right. Maybe I don't want to,
Yeah.
spend a bunch of time and money and energy doing something that I'm like lukewarm on. So
Yeah.
that's when I really started doing some soul searching and kind of thinking of different career options for me. And I kind of just landed and I've done many jobs. I've done so many jobs. I have experience in probably a little bit of everything, which is great as an entrepreneur because that's kind of what we do. We need to be experienced in a little bit of
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
That has really served me well. But yeah, that's kind of how I got into entrepreneurship. I still work full time now. I do facility management now for a really great company, and it's really nice. It's blends a lot of the disciplines that I like to do because I like to do a lot of stuff. Facility management has a lot of time, so that's why I do it on my main gig. But on my side gig, I'm a gift music extraordinaire. So
I think like Gift Muse Goddess just needs to be in your Instagram bio. Like that
it
is how
should.
you present yourself, because that is the greatest
Yeah.
description that I've ever heard somebody describe themselves as.
I am definitely using a lot of I when I was coming up with the name for the company, I really did think about that a
Yeah.
lot. Because gifting is such like a personal thing. It's
Yes.
such a personal thing for people. It's hard to give somebody that you really love a gift that's going to fit them and or like even for an occasion, say a wedding.
Yeah.
How do you give your bridal party
Yeah.
gifts that are representative of you and your couple and your like the story that you guys are telling for all of your friends and family? It's such a personal thing, and so it really takes sometimes a little bit of inspiration or somebody who is, I'm somebody who I really like to get to know people on like a
Right.
personal level.
Right.
So when I take on clients, it's really for me, kind of like getting to know a part of their soul, a part of their
Oh,
personality, and adding a little touch of them into whatever we do. So inspiring them and to use my services and to help me get them to gift gorgeously to the people that they love. So
I love it.
that's kind of where the name came from.
I love it. I love it. Can you tell me, just kind of digging into Gift Muse, like what is your business story? When did you officially start? Like,
Yeah.
what led you to gift boxes?
Absolutely. So I actually had, like all entrepreneurs, sometimes the first thing that you do doesn't work out. It's totally fine. It's all good. You've kind of really got to, when you start your entrepreneurial journey, sometimes you've got to like poke around on a few things to really see what resonates with you. And so I actually had a business for this called the Hera Project, which was focused on like career education and helping women. Because one thing I'm really passionate about is helping women and women in business.
Nice.
And so the timeline wise, how things ended up is that me and my business partner, I had a partner for that business, and she and I ended up, it wasn't like anything dramatic, but
Right.
we kind of had different visions of how we wanted the business to go. And that just happens sometimes when you have a partnership. It's totally normal. And so we kind of split ways in November of, I think it was 2019. And
Okay.
so after that, I was kind of brainstorming, thinking of what my vision was for the company, like how I was going to take it. And then COVID happened. And since we were such, like an event-based business, I was like, you know what? This is really kind of something that I'm not prepared to deal with.
Right.
Also, like maybe I need to take a deeper dive at the business and see kind of whether or not this still really resonates with me and like who I am as a person and what I want to do. So I ended up taking a look at that and I was like, you know what, this is great, but there's certain aspects of my gifts and my talent that I'm not really getting to use or
Right.
flex here. And so maybe I should rethink the model. So I think I started thinking about Gift Muse maybe maybe June, July. I really haven't been doing it for
Yeah.
very long, but I've been very surprised and very pleasantly surprised with how well
Yeah.
going, because I think I got the concept for it in about June or July of last year. I
Okay.
started doing the market research for it, and I officially filed with the state with my doing business as in October.
Okay.
Um, and so Gift Muse still has, when it was important to me when I was transitioning from Hera Project to Gift Muse to kind of pick like I said, supporting women and making sure and supporting women in business, especially and financially, is something that's really important to me. I believe that if we put money in the hands of women, we're putting money in the hands of families, we're
Yeah.
putting money in the hands of like doctors, nurses, scientists. We need women to be more prominent in business and kind of all fields professionally. If
I
you
agree.
ask me
Yep. I
personally,
agree. Yep.
very biased. So I was always searching for kind of like what kind of flavor I wanted to bring with that from that over at Hair Project into Gift Muse. And the way I've done that is that Gift Muse actually, we source a lot of our goods and pretty much all the gifts that we source from small local women owned businesses.
Very cool.
So whatever you see in our boxes, it's from another women owned business, whether it's local to North Carolina, most of them are. Or if it's some of our retailers like on the West Coast, we really truly believe in supporting women owned businesses and putting money into the hands of women and supporting their dreams and passions and giving them at least at least trying to give them the resources
Yeah.
they need to make it. So, yeah, that's one of the things that's really special about it for me. And it was really important for me to rethink that passion of mine
Yeah.
as I was making this business model. And I did.
Yeah.
So,
And part of what I loved about when I was doing my research was that you like the line of you consider gift giving to be a sport. And I
yeah.
was like, at the same time, it was so funny because then an Olympics commercial came up on TV that I was watching, and I was like, this is absolutely timed right here. I was like,
Yeah,
could you
is it the
imagine it?
SEO? Is
Yeah.
it my SEO doing such a good, or the ad, the targeted ad getting you? Honestly, it is a sport to me. Like I'm a big fan of Parks and I actually stole that line, I'm not gonna lie, from Parks and Rec. I love Leslie Knope. I love
Yeah.
Leslie Knope is like not really she's one of my icons,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
And she considers gift giving a sport, and I see a lot of like my characteristics in her.
Love it.
So when I think I don't remember what episode it's from, but it's from an episode where she's like, gift giving is like a sport to me. And I'm like, kind of is like that to me. Because
Yeah.
I will spend hours and like days and months and weeks
Yeah.
like figuring out what to give like my friends and my family. So I thought that since I already really like doing it and it's such
Yeah.
a niche thing,
Yeah.
why not make a business out of it? So
Hey, you got to do, I mean, that's the perfect thing is creating a business that is something that you love. Like
yeah.
it's something that even that they tell you in school when you're taking entrepreneurship class, like if you're going to create your business, do it from something that you love to do.
Yeah. And I think that's so important because I think one thing that we kind of gloss over, maybe in formal education, is that you really got to pick something that you feel passionate about.
Right.
Like, it's not always going to be fun. Sometimes it's really not fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's amazing. And like, you're so happy that you started this business and everything's going great.
Yeah.
But you really need to pick something that you feel like connected to. So if
Absolutely.
you're going through a hard time, you can still keep your focus and keep your faith in what you're doing and like who you are and what you believe in.
Right.
And I think it's really important to do that, whether it's in your professional career, your side hustle, your entrepreneurial life, whatever you're doing, just get to know yourself and like use whatever talents and gifts you've been given. So,
Yeah, absolutely. I could not agree with you more there. On your website, you have 4 candles that you sell. You have all these different boxes. Kind of where do you get your inspiration for creating your different boxes and products?
yeah, absolutely. So a lot of my inspiration for like boxes, I'm actually starting on a service line now to do kind of more because a lot of the requests I've been getting have been more like custom requests for certain events or occasions.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be rolling that out soon. But the inspiration I get for anything is just kind of based on, like I said, inspiring people to give gorgeously at whatever kind of price point or for whatever kind of occasion they need. Um, so there's not like there's some things on the website that you can customize now, but I really want to be able to be there, like I said earlier, and be kind of like that point person in
Right.
between to give people great gifts that they are so excited to give their friends at a wonderful like price point, wonderful like gift combinations. We work with a wide variety of budgets.
Yeah.
We work with a wide variety of things or stuff that we do. So it's kind of just to be there for people. And kind of a lot of my products I have that are on the website now are relevant to things that I myself enjoy. Like all the candles are named after some of my favorite pastimes. Like I love taking walks with my family. So I have one that's called Afternoon Stroll. I love cleaning and organizing.
Yeah.
That's really another one of my side passions. So I have one called Laundry Day on there. So I really do pull from like a lot of my life experience, like I said, being the best gift giver and
Right.
like being such a bubbly people person to get to know people to figure out what they need to give their friends. So that's kind of where I pull a lot of my business
I love
inspiration from.
I love that. And I mean, you cannot go wrong with a laundry day candle. There is nothing in the world that is, I mean, you just think about
I'm very biased, obviously, but I do love the smell of like a fresh
it. Oh
folded
God.
towel. And a lot of those candles too are kind of for people to get like introduced to my brand.
Yeah.
So it's also important to me to kind of build relationships with people. And I think as a business owner, it's kind of important that when you're building your product or service like that, to kind of think of entry points for your customer
Right.
so they can kind of like see what you're doing, get a little taste of like maybe who you are, what you're about. And then if they like what you're doing, then they're going to come back for more. So
Absolutely. And I think you said that it is like the perfect introduction. You have your candles, but then you also then go into and you have your different boxes and the candle collection that you do have. So that I mean that was perfectly phrased and I think a great description for
yeah.
that you have things set up. When you are putting together your boxes, do you like get into a groove?
Are you talking? So I believe I do it more so maybe when I'm planning, but
Okay.
it depends on how large the order is. I fulfilled an order in December that was like 85 gift boxes.
Good.
And so, yeah. And so, because for it was like a corporate gifting client. And so when I'm fulfilling an order that large, I kind of have to, but also like so yeah, there's certain aspects of the like filling the boxes you kind of get into a groove, but where I find I really kind of dip into like a sense of flow most is kind of doing the design or inspiration around each box or each concept that I'm going to make. So if I'm working on a custom request for a client, um, a lot of that depends on so how I kind of do that first is first I kind of go to them. I figure out what their price point is when they need it, what the
Yep.
occasion's for, if there's any kind of like things like if it's a professional gift, if there's any kind of stuff that they don't want to put in there or they
Right.
do want to put in there, we have those discussions. And then I go back and I start pulling proposals together and
Right.
mood boards for them.
Yeah.
And I find that's kind of where I get into a state of flow most because based on what I know about the client, then I get to really do the fun part and go
Yeah.
and like dig and dig and dig and
Yeah.
dig and dig and get something beautiful for them to present them to. Like I did for one of my actually good friends, I did a Harry Potter
Oh,
theme box.
yeah.
And I just went, I don't have any pictures. I should have taken pictures, but I went so in. I got like Hogwarts ice molds. I had a Hufflepuff candle. I had a letter from Hogwarts with a wax seal on it. Wrapped, I wrapped the box itself in like brown paper, and then I tied it up with like some
I love
twine and like stamped the Hogwarts seal on top of it to look like something that came out of the movie, and it was
that.
great. So I really do get into like a flow or kind of
Yeah.
a sense of like creative joy
Yeah.
when I'm doing things like that, but a lot of it for me is really focused on the client and the customer and what they want and what they need, and
Yeah.
providing them kind of like that vision that they have.
Now,
So
do you consider yourself to still be, even though you do like these larger events and you are putting these, do you still consider yourself to be a small business?
oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It is still very, very, very small. I've gotten very, I will be honest, they say that you have to be good, but you also have to be lucky. I have gotten lucky.
Okay.
So I've gotten lucky on a couple of occasions since I just started in like when I got that large corporate order, I was like, wow, this is actually a business. Like
Yeah.
this is actually something that I can do.
Yeah.
Like I can do this well. I can execute
Yeah.
this. It's still very baby, like very, very in the state of its infancy yet, but at least I know I have a jumping off point where I can continue this
Yeah.
and just see where it goes. And so that's kind of where we're at. And that's really a lot of what entrepreneurship is. Sometimes it's just throwing stuff at the wall,
Yeah.
seeing what sticks. If it sticks and you're vibing with it, you're like, okay, more of this, more of this. Let's make sure my customers are getting what they want.
Yeah.
Let's make sure my audience is like
Yeah.
happy with what I'm doing. And then
Yeah.
we're off to the races.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where it's at now. Where I've kind of had to I've had some like family stuff come up where I've had to step away from it a little bit, but at least I know that I have that foundation of
Right.
people are interested.
Yeah.
So now we just have to make it work.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what, and a lot of entrepreneurship is too. I say this to myself all the time. It's kind of like putting the car together as you're driving it. So,
Okay.
like, that's where we're at right now. We're putting the car together as we're driving it. We see that people are interested. We're like, okay, good. We've got products. Now we have to get services out there
Right.
because that's what my clients are requesting. That's what they need. So I need to make that information accessible to them.
Right.
And so a lot of being an entrepreneur in this business is just adapting as I go. So it is by no means a large business. It's still very
Car
small.
is running.
Yeah.
It's a little bumpy right now, but it's running.
It's a little bumpy right now, but it's, I'm getting my suspension. We're getting
There
the
we go.
shocks put on together. We're rolling with it. So that's
Love
how it goes. Yeah, for
Do
sure.
you, what is your process for like sourcing?
Okay. So I would when I source, preferably I like to like chit chat with my local small business
Yeah.
people that I know because I really believe in supporting in the community. And luckily in Raleigh, we have a really strong women-owned business
It's
presence.
incredible. It's
It's
truly
incredible.
incredible.
It is incredible. So a lot of it begins with like sliding into people's DMs, to be honest with you. I'll slide into DMs or send an email because honestly, I'm not personally very productive when I'm on Instagram. I don't do a lot of my business operations on Instagram, which is kind of controversial in some circles
Yeah.
because, it is a great tool for marketing,
Yeah.
but only if you use it properly. And I am somebody who mismanages my time immensely when on Instagram. So sometimes it starts with sliding in DMs, and then sometimes it starts with emails or like a text to
Right.
somebody that I already know. So it really just depends. If I can't find what I need on, or if I just kind of need something that's more of like like a more, I don't want to say like a staple, but more like something that I can easily just like boop, like don't like, because wholesalers, the way it works for wholesalers is that you have to get some business paperwork together to join like a wholesaler website or
Yeah.
like a wholesaler community, whatever it is. And then you'll kind of know lead times and sourcing for them. So I just kind of comb all those websites, highlight women-owned businesses that I'm interested in, or like have a good like have a
Right.
like bonus, like kind of cool cause, cool concept. And I kind of keep track of those. And
Okay.
if I need to pull something from them, I absolutely can. But I do prefer to kind of like chit chat with my girls
Yeah.
on the ground first
Love
before I
it.
do that. So that's kind of how I source. And it's really women-owned businesses, I think, are getting a more accessible to kind of, because
Yeah.
even when I was in Hera Project, I've really just seen such immense growth.
Yeah.
Um, and it may be because, I know a little bit more. I know I've networked with some people, gotten to meet some folks in order to kind of see the community or see the growth. But I just feel like in general too, people are trying to support minority and women-owned businesses, which I think is excellent. And I'm very happy to see those trends continue. So they are, by and large, I think, coming to more like prevalence, which I'm very happy to see, and I'm happy to be hopefully part of that.
Yeah. No, I think it's, I mean, I couldn't agree with you more. Raleigh is like growing so incredibly
Yeah,
large with local and small business owners, like, and especially during, like, everybody that I've talked to, it's so funny. Everybody's like, yeah, I started during COVID, which I think is so incredible that at least something of that size and magnitude, that all of these small and local business owners were finally like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do what I finally have been wanting to do.
I think it was a really nice pause for people to kind of reflect, take some time. I mean, we really truly get so inundated with emails, texts, messages, events, meetings, jobs, with normal people life. Like we just get inundated with so many things that sometimes people kind of fall out of, and I do this myself. I actually try to stay when I feel myself drifting from where I feel like I'm supposed to be aligned. I
Yeah.
always make sure to check back in with myself. But COVID for me was an exceptional opportunity to check back in with
Yeah.
myself and make sure that I was doing things that I really believed in and really wanted to be doing. I'm uh I'm not saying that I mean, there are good things and bad things, I think, for everybody. I was very blessed through COVID and was able to have, you know, the opportunity to think about these things at length without, having necessarily some of the bad parts of COVID happening in my personal life. But I think it kind of did give everybody a time and space to think a little bit more about who they are as people, what they want to do with their lives. And so it's kind of unique. It's very unique in many ways, but it was
Yeah.
certainly very unique in many ways, most of
Yeah.
them not great. But if we were going to look for a silver lining, that would hopefully be it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. For you, what has it been like to be in this small and local business community?
It's been lovely. I really just want to say, like, we truly have such a good, like, bond, like friendship. Somebody is always willing to help you out or connect you, or if you're not the right person, they're going to connect you with somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And you really can truly build up a business through word of mouth advertising. I know that sounds like kind of crazy
No,
since we
not
live
at
in
all.
such a digital age
Yeah.
where like everything is on our phones or
Yeah.
on our computers, but there's really something magical about having those connections with people where
Yes.
then they refer business to you. It's highly people are not talking about it, and I think we should be talking about because it's very useful, especially in the Raleigh small business community,
Yes.
because we hook each other up, man. You know, we really
Love
do.
it. I really do. And it's been so cool to kind of do all of these local episodes and just hear from everybody, because everybody like knows everybody, and
We do.
everybody is, like you just said, willing to help everybody out, which
Yeah.
is so incredible. And it's truly like a fantastic community that has been
Yeah.
built.
Well, I think it's too at the same time, like I said, kind of with the mission of Gift Muse, it's important to me to support other women,
Yeah.
especially local women, because we're really all in this together. I mean, I think this past year has really shown us that when shit hits the fan,
Yeah.
pardon my French,
Yeah.
we got to have each other's backs,
Absolutely.
and so I think that's something that I really think that everybody has kind of like a baseline understanding about. Um, and I think we're really happy to do it. I'm glad that the community is so supportive and that we all pride ourselves on doing that because
Yeah.
it makes it a really nice time, a
Yes.
really groovy place to be.
I love it. I love
So,
it so much. For you, what is the easiest way for people to find you, to find your products?
yes. So right now, I am working on more back end stuff.
Okay.
So I will say that I have a lot more to come
Okay.
behind the scenes with marketing and accessibility for the business. But right now, I definitely would say the biggest tool would be either our website or
Okay.
Instagram.
Okay.
So eventually, we will be having a very robust Pinterest when I get around to it. But you know
Yes.
how it is. I would definitely say Pinterest, Instagram. I don't really post too much on Instagram because I am, again, like I mentioned earlier, not very good at using Instagram as a business tool. It is more of like a fun thing for me, but I'm going to start posting on there more as soon as I get like more of my marketing and content schedule up. So there's that, and always our website.
Okay.
I'm hoping to launch our services guide because, like I said earlier, a lot of the stuff that people come for me for is kind of like a nice present for their friend who just had a baby or just bought a house.
Yeah.
Um, realtors who need like closing gifts,
Okay.
or people who need things like stuff for their wedding, like wedding party thank yous,
Yeah.
favors. I can do it. I can work it out. I can work all of it out for you. And so I will be launching a services guide on my website and through our Instagram at the link in our bio, probably by the end of this week. So that's probably the best
Very
place for
cool.
people to
Find you.
check it out. Yeah,
Awesome. One last question I love to finish with is just what inspires you?
that is a good question. I really think what inspires me is my own life and experience and the things that I have personally been through, whether it's my corporate career or my entrepreneurial ambitions. I would say that um, a lot of my corporate career, I really have found the need for like women, especially working in a STEM field.
Yes.
I have really found the need for women to be more present in those spaces, if I can say that
Yeah.
politely.
Oh God, yeah.
I've really found the need for women to be more and so in those spaces. And so that's kind of what inspires me and where I pull like source materials from, or like I said earlier,
Yeah.
um, like my family life, the things that I enjoy doing. I really enjoy reading nonfiction, baking, cooking, enjoying kind of slowing down and enjoying the simpler things in life. So I do try to infuse a little bit of that in everything that I do. But I think like business wise, where I pull a lot of inspiration is just the people I meet, the experiences that I have, and my life overall. So
Love it. Love it. Love it. And to the point of slowing down, I think we all need to slow down at some points. Um,
sometimes it is necessary, and sometimes if you're not doing it, your body will make you slow down, whether you like to or not.
yeah, yeah. I just had my slowing down period and I'm like, okay, that was
Yeah.
needed.
Yeah, it is necessary, albeit we don't focus on it enough, I think.
Great.
Something that I'm working on incorporating into my daily routine is kind of having a shutdown time
Okay.
for any sort of like business
Yeah.
or like work need, like after 7 p.m.
Done.
until bedtime, I need like some decompression time.
Love it.
So but I think it's important, and I think you can fit what you need to fit in those hours. You just have to be focused enough, and you have to have systems. At least I do. I mean, I don't want to speak for, I mean, obviously can't speak for everybody, but for me, I have like very stringent systems where I prioritize and go through my work in a very like stringent and rigid
Yeah.
system for productivity.
God, yeah.
But then 7 p.m., you just got to give yourself space. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that you need, take it. So yeah, it's definitely very important.
Absolutely. Thank you, Katelyn, so much for doing this. I appreciate it. You guys, the gift box goddess right here.
Sweet.
I'm gonna have all of her stuff linked down below so you can go and check out all of her stuff. And Katelyn, thank you again for stopping by and
You are
chatting
so
with me
welcome.
today. And as always, I will see you guys back here next time. Bye, y'all.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Danielle.